Okay, time to get my printer ready to print something. Oh, looks like there's already a print job in there. Weird. Let's see what it is. Huh, it's about me. Hey, nice. They know me well. Oh, that's not good. Aw, come on. Wait, what is... Okay. Alright, we got there in the end. What a roller coaster of emotions. Hey there, how's it going? I'm TechDweeb, welcome. Thanks for clicking on the video today. Printers are a pain in the buns, am I right? I've been through several printers over the years and they always start out great. You bring home your shiny new printer, it comes with ink, you print something and it actually prints it, and you feel like you own a piece of dependable modern technology that will make your life amazing. And then like 3 weeks later, it begins. The starter ink runs out after printing 11 pages in a picture of a frog. You don't use it for a month and then somehow the ink dries up. And then you need new ink, except you can't just buy ink. Oh no. You need the special sacred printer blood made specifically for your printer, which costs approximately the same as the printer. And they keep getting more locked down. You want third-party cartridges? Of course not. Subscription ink, that's what you got to get now. You want weird proprietary software? You betcha. Drivers, accounts, apps, AI workflow enhancers. Like, I just want the words to go on the paper. Why is this hard? And it shouldn't be hard. We've been printing stuff since the 70s. We figured it out. My microwave can heat up pizza without requiring an account, but printers just seem to be getting worse and worse. So the last time I needed a new printer, I decided I was done. No more ink. I bit the bullet and bought one of these things. An Inkless printer. This one here is the Parapage printer, and it wasn't cheap. I paid around 130 bucks for this little guy like a year and a half ago, which is a lot of money for something whose entire job is paper go in, words come out. But I took the chance and I am so glad I did. This thing has been a frickin' champ in my life. I even splurged on the fancy carrying case for it. I bought a giant stash of paper and I printed everything I would have printed, but with none of the headaches of a traditional printer. This thing is easy as heck and I love it for that. And at this point, I genuinely don't think I'd ever go back to an ink printer. Which brings me to my aunt. We were going to be heading to visit my aunt last week and she mentioned that her printer was giving her problems. She said that maybe she wanted me to take a look at it while I was there, and she was thinking about buying a new one. She doesn't need anything fancy. Just documents, taxes, receipts, strongly worded letters to the mayor, you know, aunt stuff. And all the printers she was looking at had the same problem. Cheap printer, expensive ink, complicated software, welcome aboard the misery train. So before we went there, I bought her an Inkless printer. I just did it without asking. I felt like it would solve her problems like it did mine. This Parapage printer that I have isn't available on Amazon anymore, so I got her a different brand, which we'll talk about in a bit. I brought it over and I set the whole thing up in about 2 minutes, loaded some paper, and showed her how it worked, and she was blown away. The print quality was good, it was easy, it was fast, and most importantly, I got to tell her the magic words, "You never have to buy printer ink again." And just like that, she was sold. Well, not sold, I bought it. She contributed nothing financially to this transaction, but she was happy, which is all the payment I need. Happy ants are the best kind of currency for tech dweebs who love their ants. And on the drive home, I says to myself, TechDweeb, you should make a video about that Inkless printer you love so much. And then I replied to myself, I said, okay, fine then, I will. But only if you agree to take away the nightmares. And then after a little more back and forth, we came to a mutual beneficial agreement, so here I am, making a video for you to watch about an Inkless printer. Partly because I legitimately love this thing and I'm excited to show it to you, and partly because the nightmares scare me and I need them to stop. Like I said, the printer I'm showing you today is the Parapage Inkless printer, but the one I bought for my aunt was a different brand called Gloryang. And I really wish I'd at least taken some B-roll of it or something, but I didn't. I was too busy being an attentive nephew, and I didn't intend to make a video, so I didn't think about it. so you'll just have to trust me when I say they are virtually identical. The Gloryang worked exactly the same as this Parapage. The print quality was just as good, and I'm pretty sure they even used the same software. It looked the same. The cool thing is that the Gloryang is a lot cheaper than what I paid for this Parapage, and it comes with the fancy carrying case. Mine was extra, so that's nice. For my aunt. Not for me. I'm happy for her. There's a few other Inkless printers on Amazon that look pretty similar too, so I'll link to the Gloryang and a couple other decent looking options in the thingy below. As for specs, I mean, it's a printer. There aren't many numbers to get excited about here. I guess the main thing is the paper. It can handle US letter and legal along with A4, 4-inch, and 2-inch thermal paper. And I'm pretty sure the Gloryang can actually take different sizes too. And you can use rolls or perforated flat sheets, whatever shape you prefer your dead trees. The print quality is around 200 DPI, which is solid for normal home printer stuff. And it has a 2600 mAh battery, which lasts a super long time. I charge this thing so rarely that every time the battery finally dies, I'm like, oh yeah, electricity. I forgot. And since it's wireless, you can just grab it and bring it wherever you need it. No power cable, no ink cartridges, no bag full of printer accoutrements, just printer and paper. It couldn't be easier. These Inkless printers use special paper, so you don't need to buy ink, but you do need to buy the paper. Because nothing in life is free, except like air, I guess. For now at least. Inkless printers are thermal printers. They use heat with a laser to burn the image into special thermal paper, which has a coating that reacts to the heat and turns black. So basically, it prints with science. There are really only two major downsides. One, it only prints black and white, no color, not even any grayscale, just pure black and pure white. That's not a big deal for me because I almost never printed in color anyway, but if you want to print nice color photos of your family or your cat or Sonic the Hedgehog or whatever, this ain't your guy. And two, it only prints on one side of the paper. So if you're a big double-sided printing enthusiast, well, first of all, congratulations on finding your thing, but you're not going to get that here. Now, you might think that buying special paper is just as annoying as buying ink, but I don't think it is. Mostly because ink dries up. If you don't use your printer for a while, it needs cleaning and calibrating and head aligning and whispering words of encouragement to it just to get the ink to flow, if it even does. This printer just sits there. You can leave it on a shelf for ages, and when you need to print something, the printer is ready to go. If you've ever needed to print one important document only to discover that your printer has spent the last 6 months letting the ink go dry and now you need to spend $30 on ink just to print one frickin' document, you know how annoying that is. That just isn't a thing here. I should mention that the paper itself does feel different from normal paper. It's less rough and toothy and more like kind of smooth and silky. I actually really like the way it feels, but if you have a particular type of paper you like printing on and touching with your fingers and you like feeling it, then you can't use that here. There are two main kinds of paper that I use. The first is rolled paper, which is super convenient because the whole roll just lives right inside the printer. So whenever you want to print something, you just turn it on, print, and tear it off like a giant receipt. Thank you for shopping at TechDweeb. Your total is crippling social anxiety. Please come again. The downside is that the paper comes out with a bit of a curl to it. You can roll it backwards and flatten it out pretty easily, but it never gets truly perfectly flat. There's always a little bit of curl. I use this for unimportant stuff or stuff that I'll end up folding. Loading it is pretty darn easy. Just open this up and drop the roll in and pull the end out the front and close it. That's it. It does come with these little spacers for the roll, but I never use them. I never need them for the letter size paper that I use. The other option is folded paper, and that's my favorite. It's pretty great. It feeds through the back of the printer, and because the sheets are connected, you can actually print multi-page documents this way. I usually just tear off what I need and print one page at a time, unless I have like a big long thing, and then I'll just let it print and print. You just slide the paper into the back, it automatically grabs it from your fingers and it detects it and it lines everything up and it's ready to go. But that's basically the whole paper system. Rolls for maximizing laziness, folded sheets for when you want something a little more civilized. Both work great and neither one has ever asked me to replace the cyan cartridge before it'll let me print something in black and white, which already makes this better than every printer I've owned before it. The app is pretty basic, but it works really good. Connect your printer and boom. Printer stuff. You can scan a document right here from the app if you need to copy something, or print photos from your phone. If you got photos on there, you can print them. And there's even built-in tools and templates for making your own documents right here in the app. But I have literally never touched any of that. I bring PDFs, it prints PDFs. We have an understanding. It can print Word documents and Excel spreadsheets and PowerPoints and all that stuff, but PDFs are what I use basically every time. Forms and then documents and Amazon return labels, D&D character sheets and adventures and monster stats, posters and plaques that I make for myself, and even my little mini zine games that I made a bunch of videos about. All those were printed on this printer. So I've actually put this thing through a fair bit of nerdy nonsense. Getting a PDF into the app is super easy. You can do it however you want, but I just use Google Drive. On my PC, I toss whatever I want to print into a folder on the drive, and then on my phone, I open the file, hit the little dots, open with, Parapage. I don't remember what the Gloryang app is called, but it's basically the same process. And then you get your preview and a few options. There's text or image mode. Text is for plain text and it keeps everything super crisp. Image mode is what you want if there's pictures or graphics or big chunks of black or basically anything more exciting than a tax form. And then you pick your paper type. Roll, folded, or perforated. I only use roll and folded. I don't even know what the perforated paper is, to be honest. Then pick your paper size, and then there's concentration, which is basically how heavy the print comes out. There's no ink, it's more just like how thick the blacks are. I almost always keep this on low. Everything is still nice and dark, but you retain more fine detail, I found. And then you hit print, and it prints. It's pretty quick, about as fast as a normal home printer, and it makes this lovely little mechanical zappy noise while it goes. It sounds like there's a tiny robot inside frantically drawing your document. Keep going, little guy, you're doing great. If you're printing multiple pages, it'll just keep feeding them through. And with rolled paper, when it's done, you just tear it off. And that's it. That really is the whole process. I kind of don't know what else to tell you, to be honest. Like with a traditional printer, this would be the part where I explain cleaning the print heads and printing test patterns and calibration, clearing jams and installing drivers, fixing the Wi-Fi connection and sacrificing a goat or whatever you got to do for these things. None of that applies here. There really isn't much more to explain. You give it a document, it goes, and now you have a document. That's all you're signing up for when you get a printer like this. And that's kind of why I love this thing. This video is long overdue. I've had this printer for ages. It's legitimately one of my favorite pieces of tech that I own, and I kind of confused myself when I realized that I'd never made a video about it. Like, I'm TechDweeb. I made this channel to share the stuff I love. And I legitimately love this stupid little printer and somehow just forgot to tell you about it. So this video is me fixing that terrible mistake. I'm here to show you a printer and tell you that it's good and I like it. I love how small it is. It just tucks away somewhere and it waits until I need it. I love that the battery lasts for months and months. It charges with USB-C, it's wireless, and you can bring it anywhere. I personally do not bring it anywhere. I don't leave my house often. Occasionally I go visit my aunt, and once a year I go outside to touch some grass just to make sure it's still there. But I can imagine the portability being really useful for all sorts of impressive professional workflows that I do not possess. For me though, it's just my good old printer. I use it all the time, and it's never failed me. And it's one of those pieces of tech that you kind of forget about in like a good way. It doesn't annoy me, it doesn't cause me stress, it doesn't suddenly forget how Wi-Fi works or refuse to print because magenta's low. No account, no subscription, no driver from 2009 hiding in the bowels of Windows, no printer suddenly deciding that it's never met you before and you gotta set it all up from scratch and all that nonsense. This thing just sits there for days or weeks or months on end, and when I need something printed, it turns on and the battery's still charged up and it prints my thing. And that's it. No more, no less. And apparently that's enough to make it one of my favorite pieces of tech, and I'm sorry that I haven't shown it to you until now. Now, if you want this printer, well, I don't have a link to this one. I don't know if it's still available, but if you want a printer like this, but not this exact printer, but basically this exact printer for all intensive purposes, I really liked the Gloryang that I got from my aunt. This video honestly could have been a review of that one. It's virtually identical. I'll put links to the Gloryang and a few other options that I think look good in the thingy below. And if I manage to find this Parapage lurking around somewhere, I'll toss a link to this one in there too. Anyways, Inkless printers. They're small, they're boring, they print things, 5 stars. And that's it from me. I'm TechDweeb. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.